The kids are gone, so I have a minute. I'm sitting here kind of emotional because after the whole Biden said blacks were a monolith, I posted something on Facebook, and one of my friends from church was talking about how Biden's right. Blacks are an undiverse population. And then he proceeded to add statistics of how the Latinos were, in fact, more diverse. But that's not what I want to talk about. I wanted to focus on the fact that this person was from my church. I've been on a spiritual journey which led me to joining the church in the first place. And I was blessed enough to meet a woman who was from a faith I had never really heard of, the Baha'i faith. And in studying the Baha'i faith, I learned that they're not really into politics. And I wish I could be there. I wish I could be to that point. And I know that at this very moment, it seems like the government is breaking down and it's really falling apart, and rightfully so. It needs to be abolished and reconstructed because there needs to be a governing body for those people who can't take care of themselves. I thoroughly agree with that. Because there are people that just frankly can't take care of themselves. And until we get to the point where everybody is properly educated to where they can take care of themselves, there's going to have to be a governing body to take care of them. Now, the church that I join is a Unitarian Universalist church. I thoroughly believe in the 8 principles. The Baha'i faith and the Unitarian Universalist church are so in line. There's actually a denomination of Unitarian Baha'is. And in studying the Baha'i faith, there's always a split. I want to cry because in my path of balance, I can always see both sides, and I can always see the fundamental split. And it hurts. Why can't we just get on the same page? But it's impossible. You have men and you have women. We are fundamentally going to be at poles of our existence. And then there's always going to be that neutral person. There's always going to be that center person. But it hurts because you can have your poles, you can have your division, but don't let it tear you apart. I have to pause there because it's just like, I want to choose my words carefully. If you haven't looked into the Baha'i faith, please do. Look into the Baha'i faith as well as the Unitarian Baha'is, as well as Unitarian Universalism. But anyway, I was a Sunday school teacher, so I was fully invested. I thoroughly wanted to be a part of this church. Every time I walked into that church, I felt the positive energy. I knew that that was where I was supposed to be. Change is supposed to come through here. I know this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. I get that. I can feel it in every fiber of my being. That's how I was able to find that woman from the Baha'i faith and propel me into this understanding. That's all it is. It's an understanding. And then it comes down to this stupid election. I argue with people. I don't mean to argue. I'm just trying to get them to understand. Just because I don't want to vote for one person does not mean I'm going to automatically vote for the other. When there were 13 candidates, 14 candidates, or however many candidates, it was okay for me to say, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm going to vote for him. But as soon as it's down to just 2, I just automatically have to vote for that person? No, actually, I don't. Why does it seem so impossible for me to just leave it blank or write in somebody else? Why is that not your thing? Why can you not understand that? Why does it automatically have to be, oh, well, if you're not voting for him, then you must want such and such? No, they're both crap. I don't want either one of them. I don't have to vote for either one of them. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to vote at all. People's logic is just so limited. And I can't even say that it's the school system. It has to be. But that was not my experience. How is it that I came away from my schooling experience with logical skills, analysis skills? I don't know. The understanding that statistics can be manipulated. How do you not see that statistics can be manipulated? You're really sitting here telling me, you can see me. I'm not white, but you're going to tell me that I'm like every other person that's my skin tone? How stupid can you be? Even though after you met me and I told you that I was conservative, went to a private school, not a public school, didn't grow up poor, work for myself, had my own business, but you still think you need to come and save me instead of working with me and networking with me in my business with my business acumen and my level of expertise. Just because of the color of my skin. I'm sitting in the Sunday school class with impressionable 7th and 8th graders, mind you. The darkest person in my class is me and my 3rd grade son. He doesn't want to be around anybody else. He rightfully feels out of place. And he doesn't say this, but I could feel empathically that he was uncomfortable that his darker skinned friends were not as welcomed. I mean, this liberal white shit. I'm sorry. My church members could possibly watch this video, but you need to understand that you have created an environment that is really messed up. On top of getting rid of the black minister that was in charge of social justice, and then you go really, really slow to argue getting his job back to the point where he doesn't even want it back. And rightfully so. Why should he? Y'all don't even realize y'all fake allies. That's all I gotta say. I'm sorry. That's what it boils down to. You don't even realize that you're fake allies. That reverend should not have been fired. Period. They want to say, oh, well, we were in dire financial straits. My ass. You didn't make his position a priority. It's that simple. You didn't make sure that his position was a priority. And considering the fact that I had a conversation to where it seemed like he had to raise his own salary. So you didn't even have money to give him. He had to raise his own money. So no. No. Y'all messed that up big time. Y'all messed that up big time. Today is August 8th. infinite hindsight. And looking back, I don't regret joining the church. Sincerely, I don't. I am grateful and thankful for all the people that I have met and associated myself with. And I hope that every conversation that I have with every person there allows them to grow and understand their own shortcomings. No, I'm not saying I'm perfect because I've grown from my own shortcomings just by engaging in book conversations and group meetings. But I need to know, is the congregation really ready? Because I could talk to everybody in my apartment complex and get them to go to that church. I would happily pay for transportation for everyone willing to go by myself. For real, like by myself. I would gladly pay for them to go there so that you can have an influx of black people going to your church in Rocky River, where the person wanted you to take down the Black Lives Matter sign, and we had a little meeting to talk about it. I joined the church as an expression of faith. I said in my podcast, I don't believe Jesus is a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. I don't believe that I need to go through Jesus to get to God. I have a direct connection to God, which is why when I walked in there, I could feel the energy of the people, the positive energy of the people who had positive intentions. And I have met those people with those positive intentions who mean the best. But still, but still, change needs to take place, and I'm tired right now. I always want to power through, and I literally just told somebody that black women are the last people on the totem pole, and I think it's because they're the strongest to hold up the damn totem. I'm not saying that it's all on me, not just me by myself, because me influencing a small congregation of 200 people is nothing. It's significant, obviously, but it's insignificant in the grand scheme of billions of people. But to realize that just because you join a Unitarian Universalist church does not mean you have to be gung ho Democrat. I've been learning about why Unitarian Universalists have a split. Every religion has a split, and it irks my soul. I joined the church because of the 8 principles. I believe in the 8 principles. Cool. My political affiliation shouldn't have crap to do with any of that. But as soon as I said I was conservative, I let it out that I was from a wealthy family and I can understand both sides because obviously, hello, skin color doesn't mean crap. Only thing that mattered is where I live now. It didn't matter that 2008 occurred and my business went under, and therefore my dad got sick and I had to take care of him. So being pregnant, I had to dissolve my business, take a loss, and I moved myself into public housing. I'm not lazy. I didn't grow up poor. None of that. None of the stereotypes that go along with people living in public housing. I applied for work. I was told that I was overqualified, and I struggled with $50 a month of child support. But I homeschool my children. I have books everywhere in my apartment. I have furniture. I have a television. I have a computer. I'm paying for my phone bill. Seriously? It took me a while to get to the church because a lift cost $15 one way. I finally had some money that I can actually go to church, and I hate that I couldn't go before that. Because a pastor that I truly loved, that I actually wanted to follow, that when she left, couldn't do it. I had to stay. I had to stay. Because now I'm in a situation where my lovely, well meaning allies are coming to terms with the reality that black people aren't a monolith. We're not a monolith. Slavery is. How could you let that come out of your mouth as the only common cultural thread? And then think that Afro Latinos don't share anything with us and then separate them from us. Really? So if Latinos with their Afro Latinos are diverse, we're not associated with them? It's right there in the name, Afro Latinos. There are Cubans that look black. There are Dominicans that look black. There are French people that look black. I'm just trying to figure out how in the world you can actually think that when one of the principles of the Unitarian Universalist Church is the seeking of truth. But you want to deny me mine. You don't want to pay attention to my perspective. Okay. Okay. If I don't get the call to be a Sunday school teacher again at this church, that's their loss, not mine. Do I want to fight for it? Not really. Because without being in person, they don't actually get it. I'm not a fan of Zoom. I'm really not. And I don't see how that could actually help, although it's not like we had to do projects and hands on activities in the first place. So maybe I'll reconsider. Maybe I'll reconsider. Maybe I'll send them links to my podcast and my blog and get them to understand, even though I know that three of them will actually listen. Yeah. Maybe I need to go ahead and do the virtual Sunday school, because change needs to happen. And by God, white people cannot control the narrative anymore. Because y'all keep fucking it up. You keep fucking it up. I don't know if it's some self-righteous bullshit. I really don't know what the fuck it is that possesses you to think that you know more than anybody else. How the hell are you going to tell me that the people with my skin color are a monolith? That we all think the same way, when you know that there are black conservatives, you know that there are black liberals, you know that the people from the South don't think the same way as the people from the North, and you should know from the arguments between Biggie and Tupac that the East Coast and the West Coast, I don't give a crap about the Crips and the Bloods and the Truths and all the other stuff, we still don't think the same way. We still don't think the same way. Shame on you. Shame on you. But I can't be mad. It's not in my spirit to be mad. I just understand. Why don't you want to understand me?